Good morning, everybody. My name is Mary, and today is October 19th, 2023, on a Thursday, lovely Thursday morning. And I am making this podcast because I've noticed a lot of people who have interacted with my channel or have barely interacted with my channel are underage. Yeah. So I want to go ahead and talk about a problem that has been going on for some years now, since I was like 14. So we all know that certain networks and channels on YouTube and on TV have inappropriate content that children basically under 17 should not watch, and yet they continue to do so. Well, unfortunately, my shitpost series is exactly like that. I don't mind, people asking me questions or whatnot, but I don't like it when we'll say our content is not for children under a certain age, or it's not for children at all, without, viewing the actual age of the content creator, or putting the actual age what we meant to be more specific. Or we'll say minors don't interact, you will be blocked, and yet minors continue to interact. Well, I've been watching a lot of Chris Hansen lately, trying to see if I want to assume my position in a child sex crime, being like a police officer, or maybe like a decoy for like Chris Hansen. Because I actually like that kind of stuff. I actually like seeing pedophiles and these disgusting creeps get caught after attempting to have sex with a minor, or try to play it all cool like what they're doing is a game. It's very, very common now on the internet that children are being groomed, and it's very common that children are becoming victims of uh, pedophilia, or being molested, or groomed, and all that disgusting matter. Well, even though I can feel bad for the children, because some of them don't really get themselves into them situations, and plus my sister Josanna, her birthday was a couple of days ago on the 17th. She just turned 25, was a sexual assault victim. Nonetheless, my sister Abby as well, 26. Not to mention me being traumatized at 8. There are some instances where kids purposely get themselves in a situation, and you can't really feel bad with them, and I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of channels, a lot of TV, uh, a lot of channels and a lot of TV, um, have children cartoons on it, and sometimes you'll have channels like Cartoon Network who have Adult Swim on the same channel, and it actually goes on late at night. Why it goes on late at night? Because children are not supposed to be up late at night. But I can remember when I was a kid, I watched Robot Chicken. I watched what's that? Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And I would watch these shows and not know what's going on. And it isn't until I turn, 14, I'm like, well, I can actually enjoy these shows. Now that I'm the age to watch it. But the disgusting part, and this takes place mostly on Twitter, is that you'll have adult shows, or shows that are meant for like not older teens, but young adults like myself, like 18, 19 year olds, where you'll have children under our ages, 18 and 19, who are literally obsessed with these shows, that are fans of these shows. And I was talking to Josanna early this morning, and I told her SML came to my mind when it came down to children viewing content that's not made for their age group. When 2017 hit and the Elsa Gate thing was pretty much popular, YouTube started to crack down on creators who use either family friendly characters or characters that might look family friendly for inappropriate content. And it wasn't just that, it also affected channels like SML. And SML would repeatedly say, "My channel is not for children, my channel is not for children, my channel is not for children." And I remember him saying, if your kid goes and watch my content, he is not responsible. And he is 100% correct. He isn't responsible if your child goes and watch something that is not meant for their age. I don't care if they're 5. I don't care if they're 10. I don't even care if they're 15. If they're not 17 and over and they're watching SML, it's not his fault. If they're not 16 and over and they're watching SML, that is not his fault. But one thing that I can blame SML for is his interaction with children. Now, I am not accusing SML of grooming. I do not believe that SML would throw his whole entire career down a drain. I am not accusing him of grooming. But what I am saying is that when he opened up his store, he had a lot of children there. One of these girls, I remember, she was a beautiful black girl. She didn't look like she was no more than 4 years old with a Jeffy puppet. And it disgusts me because it's like you said, from the years of 2016 to 2018, you said for 2 whole years, I am not responsible for what your children do. So when SML had his own store and he had all these kids meeting with him, I was disgusted and I was shocked because the content he displays in his channels, you can clearly tell it wouldn't even be safe for it wouldn't even be safe for a 14-year-old. It wouldn't be safe for a 15-year-old. Yet I started watching SML when I was 8. And when I was watching SML when I was 8, he was growing up and I was practically growing up with him. So yeah, I saw his content turn from family friendly and fantasy violence all the way up to Jeffy and how it is now. And I always felt comfortable with it. And there were some instances where I would not I wouldn't watch it, or I simply wasn't allowed to because of the content. And around this time I was probably like 13, 14 when I wasn't really allowed to watch it. But all in all, comparing me to SML is we make content that are not for children. When we mean children, we mean like Emanuela's age, like 12 and 13 years old. Well, that's probably like for SML. But for me, I limit my actions or my conversations with minors as much as I fucking can. And it's not because I don't trust myself around kids, because I trust myself around kids. I'm not a creep, and I never had discussing fantasies about real life children or being a pedo. I just don't want them to be exposed to the kind of shit that I was exposed to. So when we say, "Hey, look," like I said on the Mary Lou X Romy situation I put up a couple of days ago, if I say, "Hey, look, don't do this, don't do that, or don't do that," or somebody, not, it don't even have to be me. If somebody has, "My channel's not for children," or "My channel's not for children for a blah 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 17 or under," or someone have on their Twitter, "I am 20 years old. My content I make is not for kids." If they even have their age as over 18, you should not interact with them. Because let me tell you something about my generation, how kids in my generation are. They're fucking smart. These kids are so intelligent, they could probably develop a whole entire fully functional video game within 1 week. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but that just shows how smart they are. Kids are not dumb. When they see these channels, they act like it's back when we were growing up in the early 2000s, 2010. I see Rainbow Dash, I click. I see Lala Loopsy, I click. No, people actually put stuff in their titles now. If you look at my Taker and Goop Boy shitpost episodes, I put TVMA. Even though the title is very, very long and the stretching is kind of like wordy, whatever, and pretty much extra, I put TVMA. How old do you have to be to watch a TVMA a show? You have to be 17 and over because it's for mature audiences. How old do you have to be to watch a rated R movie? I believe you have to be 18 and over to see a rated R movie. So when children get themselves into like grooming situations or situations where, they're being approached inappropriately online by adults, instead of us saying, what the hell did the adult do? We should be asking, what did the child do? Because a lot of kids nowadays get approached by adults on sites that like Twitter and Facebook and even YouTube. And these kids who are getting approached, they're like 12 and 13 years old. And while I can sit here and argue saying a 12-year-old should not have a YouTube channel, I cannot say that for a 13-year-old, because in order for you to have a channel, you have to be 13 years old. But then you also got to consider that as creators, we like to watch people who are hell of a lot older than us. SML is like 26, 27 years old, and I watch him and I'm 19. I'm old enough to be his little sister. I like to watch Markiplier here and there. I don't even know how old Markiplier is, but I believe that he's 30, but he's way too old for me, honestly. And I like to watch kid channels like Catch Teeny Ping and Lilo Lucy just to get that nostalgia. Hell, I like to watch SpongeBob SquarePants. I will stream SpongeBob SquarePants on live every single day. I will watch that live whenever I get a chance every single day. You want to know why? Because that's what I like. But just because I like these cartoons that are made for kids and that aren't really made for adults like me, I want to tell you guys something. I go off of gender. I don't go off of age when it comes down to cartoons, because I am one of those people who believe that adults can like cartoons. But I also am the kind of people who believe that adults should like cartoons to a certain extent. If you're only watching cartoons to get off to them that aren't inappropriate and that are definitely, not inappropriate for children, that are very innocent, then you shouldn't just be watching cartoons. I watch SpongeBob because it's funny. Even though SpongeBob is for guys, I think it's funny. I fucking like it. I still like it. Even though he's annoying now, I still like it. Same thing with Catch Teeny Ping. Catch Teeny Ping is for girls. It's targeted towards girls who are 4 and 7 years old. But I still watch it because, well, fuck, I am a girl. This is something that I really should be interested in, rather than, as I'm talking right now, I have a Minecraft Nerf gun. I have a Fortnite Nerf gun in my room. And if you guys been to any of my past live streams, you would have seen that. And Nerf is for guys. I think it was like called Nerf Rebel when I was younger. That was Nerf for girls. And I never had a Nerf gun really. But it's something for guys, But anyway, children who get themselves into situations like these, like situation like these, like they're getting groomed or they're getting talked to or pretty much sexualized or getting CP drawn from them, and they're on sites like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Be honest with you guys, and this is going to sound pretty shitty, it's pretty much expected, because a lot of people on these sites are adults, and a lot of people that these kids follow are adults. So when they don't know, if they don't have the age in the bio, the only thing that I can assume is that they're either an adult or they are a child. But you don't want to always take the safe route and assume that everyone's a kid, because you might potentially be blowing off a new best friend. Like, for example, I didn't know how old Stickman Dude was. Okay, I didn't know how old he was. It wasn't until he asked me on a live stream. It wasn't until he asked me on a live stream to have me and my sister voice in his new Gugu and Yaya video. So I traveled to DeviantArt and I DM'd him and I said, "How old are you?" He says 14. And I backed the fuck away. Did I block him on DeviantArt? No. I don't really care about DeviantArt like that, because with DeviantArt, I just post art on there. And, if I feel way too uncomfortable, like let's say I'm comfortable around a 14, 15, and 16-year-old because, well, I'm still a teenager myself. But like a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old on DeviantArt, hell fucking no. No. I'll block them in a fucking instant. Even though I don't really draw inappropriate on DeviantArt, the content that I'm using to draw is content that's made for adults. So it's pretty much common sense. So I shouldn't have to say if you're a minor or whatever, you're fucking blocked. Same thing on TikTok. Because I make TikToks. But my TikToks are, again, centered around my Island Scary Mansion and Taker and Goomba Shippo series. So it should be a constant reminder that anytime you see Yaya in a black and red jumpsuit or Gugu in a green jelly jumpsuit, that this shit is intended for children 18 and over. It's like freaking people do. It is intended for children 18 and over. Now, when kids get themselves into these kind of situations, where regardless if they're like green groomed or whatever, you can't always blame the adults. And I'm gonna tell you why. Children can fucking read. If you have 18 in your bio and kids decided to talk to you anyway, it's out of your hands. Adult or not, teenager or not, it's out of your hands. If you're like one of them desperate kind of teenagers that, looking for a girlfriend and you're like 19 and 18 years old and you're talking to a 14 or a 15-year-old, that's fucking disgusting. It's gross. You shouldn't do that. I don't care how close the age gap is. I don't care if it's 3 or 2 years apart. If they're a minor, they're a fucking minor. You should just go ahead and fucking block them. Okay? When children get themselves into these situations, we have to start thinking as adults. We have to start thinking as teens. We have to even start thinking as parents. What is it that we have to do or we can do to limit our kids' access to these sites like Discord? Because Discord, you could join a server full of a whole crowd of people and you don't even know who they are. Same thing with the Spooky Jumpscare Mansion server. When I was 16, I joined that server. I didn't know who the hell I was talking to. I made several friends on there and lost them, but I didn't know who the hell I was talking to, because when you're on Discord, it's like Omegle, you talk to fucking strangers. For example, Sniper Wolf recently got herself into some hot shit. She had a video back then where she was looking for young guys, like young, or probably like middle or high school high school boys, asking them to twerk, and she'll show them her boobies in return. That's the kind of shit that I be talking about. Now, Sniper Wolf was a grown ass woman. She knew what the hell she was doing. But for those guys being on a site where they could be potentially talking to pedophiles, it's also wrong. And I think when Optimus showed a video, his mom was like coming in. So this shows you how careless parents have gotten over the year. Ever since they gave their kids these iPhones and iPads and Androids and shit, their limitation on the internet is unavailable. It's unlimited. So when they access porn sites at young ages, that's going to do nothing but screw them up. But then you know what? When I would be on one of these sites, X Hamster, when I would be on one of these sites, they'll show you a warning as soon as you enter their site that this shit is only for 18 years of age and older, and that if you're younger or they find out that you're younger and you're doing shit on that site, they work in with law enforcement. So if you're not going to be screwed, it's your parents who are going to be screwed. And you know how that can be avoided? Just by a simple reading and clicking on the tab and say, nope, no, oh hell no, I'm out of here. Do all that. Mm-hmm. Neutral. One of these guys that's on DeviantArt, who I'm going to assume is a friend of Sickman Dude, he is 15 years old, and I didn't know how old he was, so I asked him on Instagram. He saw my message and never got back with me, so I just went ahead and blocked him. He followed my Instagram, and this morning when I woke up, he left a comment on my page, and I thought this was some kind of stalking behavior, because it was very weird how you didn't answer the Instagram message and I blocked you. And when I blocked you, you came onto my YouTube and left a comment. His comment is no longer there because I found out that he was a minor and he was 15. And it is disgusting. It's not even just disgusting. It's trifling how adults are always blamed for kids' action when you can clearly tell that adults, some of us like me, don't want to have anything to do with children who are under 18. We don't want to have anything to do with them. I don't care if we do a finger family video. I don't care if we do a baby shark video. if we're using cartoon characters that appeals to children and they're doing inappropriate stuff, it should not automatically occur to someone's mind that this is for kids just because they see Ollie from Baby Shark or just because they see Olaf from Frozen. Don't automatically assume just because you see those characters that the videos are for children. Don't automatically assume that. Spooky Jumpscare Mansion, believe it or not, is not a game for children. On a PS4, it's rated T for teen. On the PS4. And you know what? Island Scary Mansion took that and turned that into a rated M game. So that's what Island Scary Mansion was pretty much about. It wasn't just aimed towards girls, but at the time it was aimed towards girls 14 and up, so it kept the same rating until, we got into beef with some people from the server and all that kind of shit. We had to bump it up to 18, pretty much restricting me from interacting with anyone under the age of 18. Because I'm not going to bounce back on my word. I'm not going to say I don't want kids to come to my channel and then go and talk to kids. That's not how I work. That's fucking gross. Okay? That's disgusting. And even though you can be friends with minors, it's not illegal to be friends with minors as long as nothing sexual or disgusting is happening. You can be friends with minors. I don't even want to be friends with a kid. I just don't. Sometimes on Twitter, I literally go on what I call a friend hunt. If I see somebody with 18, 19, or 20 in their bio, I follow. If I see somebody with 28, 29, 30 in their bio, I follow. You want to know why? Because as a young teenager, as a young adult, and an older teen, I need to be friends and form a community in a group with people my age and over. Not everybody can be trusted, and I am taking cautious steps when I'm interacting with people. But if you are underage and you are under my account, or you are underage and you subscribe to my account, and yet you continue to try to make simple conversation with me, it's a fucking problem. I want to say, when I say I don't want to be friends with minors, I don't want to be friends with minors. But believe it or not, there are some minors that I am friends with. And I believe it's just like 3 of them. And one of them is Bonnie Plays Games. All right, Emmanuel is not my friend. I'm so sorry. But Olympic Tunes is not my friend. But Bonnie Plays Games is one of them. And he's really a supporter, So I don't want to have any more friends with kids that I don't want. All right? It's gross. And just because you're my friend, don't really mean that I'm going to give you different treatment. No, you're going to have the same treatment. Even though it's going to probably take years and years and more years to engage in a in an active Island Scary Mansion community full of nothing but grown women and men, I'm willing to take that chance. I'm willing to take that stance. So, children interacting with adults, we need to look on both sides. If the kid is on a site where adults are, like, let's say a dating site like Tinder or whatever, then that's going to be a problem. But if they're on a site like Roblox, or you can play online with Minecraft, like Minecraft servers, if they're on a Minecraft server, Minecraft is a game made for kids, or Fortnite, that's a game made for like teens. If they're on games and stuff where you can play online with other people and they interact with other adults, then I can actually see the child being a victim because they're on a game or on a website that's geared towards them and their liking. But if they're on a site like Twitter, which actually has a lot of CP on it, it's fucking trifling, a lot of CP on it, or Facebook, where, I don't know how to describe Facebook. I only had Facebook for a couple of months, but it's too drama. Or like YouTube, and they're following or befriending all these people that they don't know that are adults. Can you really blame them? Like, when by them I mean the adults, can you really blame them? Yeah, they should stay away, but what's a kid doing? If in America we can charge children with sex crimes amongst other children, or theft, or robbery, or murder, we should be able to charge them with sex crimes when it comes down to an adult and child situation. Because if we can't charge a child, at least charge the parents for being neglectful, because not supervising your kid on the internet is considered in America a form of neglect. A lack of supervision, regardless if it's on the internet or in person, is considered neglect. And that by itself is a charge. It's a crime. So let's get our shit straight. I'm not allowing people to visit my channel who are underage. And I'm going to go through my channel subscriptions, and I am going to find out who followed me who's underage or who's a child. Now, I'm not going to automatically assume they're underage if they don't have an age in their bio, because my friend Haniac is an adult and she don't have her age is in her bio. And I know she's an adult because she told me that she's an adult. Even though there's not literally much proof. But if she was a kid, she would probably been honest with me. So I don't mean to like scare anyone off or to like make anyone mad, but I just think this is something that just needed to be done and be said, because unlike SML, I'm gonna actually enforce myself with my word. If I say my channel isn't for kids, I will continue making the content that I am making. I will continue blocking underage people. And now, since we have community tabs, if anyone tags in the community tab who I blocked who is underage, I'm going to report that as harassment. Because when somebody says they don't want to be bothered and you continue to bother them, even if it's just like a megaphone type speech, it's considered harassment. It don't even really have to be anything inappropriate or anything rude or mean to be considered harassment. It's just altogether it's considered harassment. So I want to make the podcast to make it to straighten that shit out, and hopefully you guys would understand. All right, let's go ahead and end this then.